drinking a Brooklyn Lager. Sure as hell not representing the Bronx, right? Yeah. I don't care if there's like, animosity between the boroughs like this. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, It's all New York. But how was I going with this? Speaking of the Bronx, or New Rochelle, I should say, because the difference is a company, U.S. Moving Enterprises, they're registered in New Rochelle, but they have a yard. It's a yard where they have a lot of trucks parked there and this and the other thing. Not too far from the so-called driver foreman Mike's house, So anyway, they're really. We would always meet at the Bronx yard, not too far from the Bronx Queens Expressway, right? Something like that. Yeah, 278, I believe. It doesn't matter. I just threw that in there because I'm just having a Brooklyn Lager, Brooklyn beer, But anyway, yeah, it's about is their moving gimmicks or scam, which some people say they're con artists, and they're actually very, very accurate. They really are, It's imagine you're going for a load, and I don't know you load, I don't know the truck, and I was like hour and a half in something, we wrapped a couple chairs, dining table, I think there wasn't even a couch I actually finished wrapping because this one guy didn't finish it, but we took it out, 3 of us, I needed help. We took it out like 10 minutes, whatever, take it out, we put it on the truck, I stood it up, and then Dominic over there, he's one of the workers. It was his only day, but he knows all the people associated with that. He was the one that was on the phone, and it was about a price hike, or they would call it bump. So now the move, I only glanced at the paperwork, but let's say the whole move was like for $2,000-$3,000. They wanted to get $2,000 or $3,000 more, but they settled on 800 or so cubic yard extra they would give them, and they charge $2.20 for a cubic yard. So if you think about it, that's close to $2,000. 800 times 2.2, right? And Dominic over there said, oh, they're so happy because he said something like, we gave him a discount. And I don't know if I told them or something in his face, but I was like, oh, so you robbed them a little bit less and they're happy or something like that. You only manipulated them a little bit. I mean, it's ridiculous, especially, when part of the thing is, Dominic, they're already prepared. They would tell me, you go in there, you see things, we have paper, we say, this wasn't on this wasn't on there. Oh, look at the dishes. Oh, that's going to take us so long. We don't have room on the truck for this. Oh, we're going to have to charge you extra, And then it's like, it's not that they charge, all right, so more hour of work, but I get it. You work on cubic yards, and it's just ridiculous. Especially when, I put table chairs, this and that, and I don't know if there were boxes, but it was like a seventh of the truck. And I stood the couch, it was standing up, it was nice and fitted, and I started putting something else. I want to get the mattress and this and that, maybe boxes. And this guy tells me, I just got a call from the office, Vinny or whatever, right? And Mike would have been on as well. He's like, you got to take that apart. Except I didn't do it. I was like, what do you mean I'm taking it apart? So you got to put it down. I'm going to fill the whole truck, like the lower level. So then I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, but what if they come see and, they see like 2/3 of the truck from the lower end to higher isn't stacked up. I was like, they probably won't even say, they don't depending on that, they don't know when we look in the truck, So that way it is a con artist. And I'm just thinking, they rely on this little minuscule thing where well, maybe they want to see the truck, It's like, if you deflate somebody's car tire and, you say, oh, you got a flat tire, maybe they won't check it. It's like a schemer, a thief basically, but a legal thief depending on, he basically lies and manipulates. So, he took stuff apart, like the chairs, he took stuff that was stacked already, put it on the floor, this and that. And then he started, it was later on, it was like 7 or 8 hours, it was getting dark. And, he was telling me, well, we filled up the whole truck. I'm like, well, you filled up the whole truck. 2/3 of the truck high up is empty. If I just pushed everything right, stacked everything up, you have like a third or, not even half of the truck, And so then, he was like, oh, all right, yeah. So I'm like, so why do you even argue, Yuval? You think I'm gullible and stupid when you told me to, manipulate them? And then you're going to rely on what, like, I forget about your manipulation? It's just ridiculous, It's just ridiculous, I felt bad for those clients and every other clients. But those clients especially, because after a while, 9 o'clock rolled up, and we put every last item, and it just became to this inch. Even the dollies and the hand trucks, it was just, it's like the door shut, but it was just like to the last inch. But it was all on the floor, spread up. Nothing was really stacked or stacked in the truck. Everything we were doing was just putting down on the floor of the truck. 26-foot box truck, So, actually, if you go about cubic yards, those people, it's on paperwork. I don't have proof. I don't have pictures or video, but I mean, you just count it up. They were allowed to manipulate for extra money. The bump, and then Dominic over there got 15% or whatever the bump was. That's what I say. I don't want nothing to do with that money. And Dominic was like, well, I'll give it to Joshua. I'll give him like $100. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, do that. That's you. I don't play with that. But it also was, I walked in the first time we walked into the client's home over there. It was an older female, we walk in and she had these glass lampshades. They were very thin, some of them, but it reminded me of like I said the roaring 20s or 30s. I always forget, 1920s or 1930s. It had that style. And there was this artistic peacock. I remember I bought this cat. It was in Virginia, like this antique warehouse. And this lady charged me $85 for it. She wasn't there, but she was a warehouse, so I picked it up. Later, I got a frog. It was like $65 or $70. But it was just very shiny. It was fiberglass or something. It was thin, but it was just beautiful. It was art, And she had like a peacock. It was, I don't want to say flimsy, it was delicate. But the first thing I noticed, and I didn't think, I was like, that's probably the nicest piece, like, in the living room of the house. It was just very beautiful, It was very well done, very taken care of. And at the end of the day, one of the guys just puts that thing, it was the last thing, he picks it up, and he puts it in the truck on the floor and like against the wall and like something hard. So let's say if I was gonna make a turn, it would just fall over, it would just knock each other, it might have scratched this and the other thing. I took one of the last blankets, I put it down or something, and I just fit it in so nothing would fall, nothing, it wouldn't fall off. But it's like, I started thinking like, did they know? I thought it was the nicest piece, and just, screw it. He likes it, so he's gonna destroy it. We're gonna hope it just, it wasn't like that. I know it wasn't like that. But it was just like, they were just so careless and reckless, Unbelievable. But about, the price hike, it's unethical, and also it doesn't make sense. It's a lie. Right off the bat, they're waiting to lie to the clients, And there's a thing they do when they load the truck, and then when you get to the unloading area, the new place, they're like, first of all, if something like, they gotta pay you right off the bat before you load, and then before you unload, they gotta give you another set of money. So, I backed up the truck to this, actually I was standing and driving and backed into the garage fully, and he went and talked to the client for like 5 or 10 minutes, 10 minutes or so. I was smoking my pipe. I was like, he had to get the other money for the rest of the move. So it's a 2 form of payment. It's just, it's an unbelievable scam. This is one of the things where I was like, I was thinking like, it's about, my morals, just me having my morals and principles. And it's like, no matter how much money I make, I'm not going to stick around here. I just, I'm not going to be the guy that lies. Especially when their lies were just so thin that you could see right through them, But it's like, I figure a lot of people, it's like, on your moving that, you're gonna, is there a contract violation, or is it just, well, you just think it's the normal, like, you don't want to say no, because like, you have to move out. It just, it's unbelievable. And so, and their talk, their lingo, I noticed, it's a form of manipulation. I experienced that with a police department and healthcare workers, but especially the police department, I experienced that. They will say something like, actually, let me take that back. There was somebody else that does that. I knew this guy. And they're like, well, we did that for you. Mike does that stuff from that company. Oh, he's great at it, but I see him, I feel disgusted. It's like he went, over the head for you, or you bent over backwards, which actually he didn't. All he did was like unscrew a leg or something, right? Which you're supposed to do or something. And he just wants to let you know he did that for you. Now you feel like, now he tries to say he's a good guy. And now all of a sudden, now he's going to come at you with a pitch of like, how he's going to take money from you. And, it's... that's pretty much it, If you go extra, if you go on cubic yards, they really... They didn't get any cubic yards extra. What they did, they just manipulated them in case they would see to like, to say that we had no more room in the truck when, you could have stacked up and went high and, the third of the truck would have been filled. But they try to make it look like we used up all the truck. And then they still lied to me about that. And, honestly, I'm not the one to like, I wasn't gonna, I could have taken pictures and video of that, I don't think once I even thought about it or something like that. I'm like, I don't want to put these guys really on the spot, It's like, where's my stake in this? What if, something happens and, it's like 2001, I get my throat slashed or some shit like that? What if I end up in a bathtub with 20 of you fucking standing around me and shit with a camera? So I kept my mouth shut. I didn't video record. I will not be the guy that goes and, tells people, those people rob, those people steal. Because last time I did that, it got me a lot of trouble. Including someone, that was supposedly a clone of mine, this and that. And none of you people gave a fuck. So, if you ever get robbed like that, fuck you deserve it. But I was just more shocked. It's like, like, you openly tell me, I'm going to lie, you're going to be in on it, this and that, and then, you try to manipulate me to believe in the lie. That's what I was more creeped out by. And I told him, and he said, oh, right, yeah, you're right.